Appbase.io now supports functions, which provides you ability to extend your search, improve your search relevancy, or implement the custom security logic. We already have a video explaining when to use functions and how to host them. You can find that in the description of this video. In this video, we will specifically focus on how you can create a function, how you can deploy it, and how you can set a trigger so that it gets triggered whenever a search request is made. Alright, so let's get started. Now, appbase.io uses OpenFS under the hood to support the functions. OpenFS is great because you can write function in any language like Node.js, PHP, Go, Python, etc. And it is also open source and actively maintained. Now there is a CLI tool built by OpenFS called FastCLI, which will help you in bootstrapping a function, building it and deploying it, so that you can directly use those function images inside the appbase.io dashboard and deploy them seamlessly. Linux user can use this command and Mac users can use this command to install the CLI tool. I already have this installed, so let's get started and create a function. Now FastCLI have developed few templates which will quickly help you in bootstrapping your function. You can check the template store for the available templates and the languages options that you have. In this video, we will be using Node.js. Let us develop a function where we will be promoting a result when a search query is made. So I already have this phones index in place, which has this three data. One is OnePlus 70, Samsung, and Pixel. Now what I would like to do is whenever someone searches on phones with some specific keywords, I would like to promote a result called iPhone. So let's create a function for that. So first of all, I will create a repository which will contain the function code. Next, let us add the Node.js template. I'm using Node 10 at the moment. So as you can see, it has added a template over here in our function code base. I can also open this in my code editor now. Next, we need to run this command to actually create a function. So now if I go back to the code editor, as you can see, we have this new file called promoteresults.yaml, which actually contains the YAML configurations for building the image and function. And there's a folder called promote result, which contains package.json and our handler, which contains the main business logic for our function. So let us go ahead and add the business logic over here. Now I already have a code in place. In this code, what we are doing actually is we are making sure that whenever it is a search or msearch request, we would like to append iPhone data in our response body. So I'm calling this function called promote result, which will just return me an updated response body. And here is the promote result function, which does nothing but adds this JSON object to the result set and updates the statistics by 1 so that we get the correct value in our statistics response as well. Alright, next we need to set the Docker username and the image name and the version. So I will just put this as Lakhan Samani, that is my Docker username, promote result, and version could be 0.1.0. Now the default timeout for this function is 5 seconds. If you are doing some heavy processing, then you can add the read and write timeout, that is for example, I have done 30 seconds over here. You can update that. Alright, so next we need to build a function. So we will copy this command and let's run it over here. Alright, so our function is built. Now what we need is we need to publish this function on Docker Hub. Alright, so our image is published. Now let us go ahead and use this. Now to deploy the function, we will have to go to the cluster overview, because functions are available as in a global scope. And in the develop tab, we will go to functions, start deploying a function. Let's name it promote iPhone, and our image is Lakhan Samani slash promote results. Actually, we can copy it from here. So promote result 0.1.0 and deploy. Now once the function is deployed, you can set a trigger for that function, that is when you would like to execute. So in our case, we would like to execute it after search, and we would like to filter it. So we would only like to execute this function for phone's index and not for any other index. So how you can set a filter expression, you can go through the docs over here, and also we have documentation in the main docs. But basically what you need to do is you need to use these environment variables. We have a set of environment variables which can help you set the filter expressions. For example, category, that is what type of category are we triggering the request on. ACL, that we saw in the functions also, that is when is what type of request it is. Index, query, filter. Now so over here we want to filter on our index, so I'll just use this and rename the index to phones. Alright, so that's it. You can also pass some extra request data over here. That is, for example, if you want to set some environment variables, you can pass it through extra request data. So let's save this. Now that our request is saved, let us go back and see in our search preview for phones. Now as you can see that we have our promoted result in the search results. That is great. But we don't want to always promote this iPhone result, right? So uh, let us make this trigger more specific to a search query. So let's say someone searches on Apple, then only we would like to show iPhone in the result set. So let us go ahead and modify our search trigger. I'll go back to the main app-based dashboard. I'll go to functions, set trigger, and I can say and query starts with Apple, and $query starts with Apple. Is that correct? Yep. So let us go ahead and save this. Now let us go back to our search preview. So I'll go to phones index, inside develop search preview. So as you can see right now, we don't have iPhone in the search result. That is great. And whenever I search on Apple keyword, I'm getting iPhone in the result set. So this is how you can promote the result. Also, you can add a function to remove some of the results if you want. And you can do a lot of things with the functions. You can read more about the functions, triggers, and how to deploy them in our documentation. I will add links to all of this in the video description, so please read them. Thank you.